Assalamualaikum and good morning. I be to Dr. Ke. Today we will present an application of linear algebra in e-commerce. My name is Muhammad Ahmed Shami and I will be your first presenter. So before we start, I would like to introduce our teammates, and then this is the content that we will be explain later on. Introduction. Linear equations are problems with unknown variable that are solved by using linear algebra method. We must write the linear equation system in augmented matrix. Then by using a linear algebra method, we can solve the issue and get the solution. In the study, we will study a method by using Gauss-Jordan elimination method, which are named after two mathematicians, which are Carl Gauss and William Jordan. The augmented matrix is reduced to a row equivalent matrix. Then it will converted back to a corresponding system of linear equation before it is solved. The linear equation has numerous applications. For example, the usage of e-commerce in real life. The problem that will be used in this study are as follows. Tourist Sneaker is a new shoe store that was established in Segamat, Johor. One day, they want to expand their business by selling their shoes on e-commerce platform at Shopee. Then, they plan to sell their shoes in Segamat, including Vans, Converse, and Nike. These shoes were recorded within 3 months. This is the recorded sales of tourist sneakers in 3 months. By June, they managed to sell 20 pairs of Vans, 15 pairs of Converse, and 18 pairs of Nike, which cost 15,425 ringgit. July, they managed to sell 5 pairs of Vans, 24 pairs of Converse, and 22 pairs of Nike, which cost 16,295. And by the end of the August, they managed to sell 13 pairs of Vans, 3 pairs of Converse, and 37 pairs of Nike, which cost 15,220. Okay, so Tourist Sneakers hold a contest for its customers. Anyone or the customer that can solve the equation above by using Gauss-Jordan elimination method will get a free pair of shoes by their choice.
Purpose of study. First, to find and declare the truth and exact value and price for the new shoes that be sold in June, July, and August by using system of linear equation in the form of an augmented matrix. Second, to determine the most expensive and the cheapest new shoes that we sold. Third, to determine the top sale for the new shoes during June, July, and August. Next, to perform Gauss-Jordan elimination method by implementing reduced row echelon form or RREF process in the solution. And lastly, to solve the problems using system of linear equation. Methodology. In our case study and research, we will solve the problems by using and performing Gauss-Jordan elimination method. We are choosing this method since it is the best, suitable, and the most accurate compared to the other method. Okay, to solve the problems, firstly, we need to create a few variables for each type of new shoes that we sold in June, July, and August. And we declare as Vans, declare as X, Converse, XY, and last but not least, Nike as Z. After that, by using the variables, we need to create system of linear equation by using record sales that begin for June, July, and August of mixed types. Next, we need to build an augmented matrix by using the system of linear equation and perform elementary row operation or ARO by interchange two rows or else add or multiply a row to another non-zero constant row. Moreover, we need to put and manage the matrix into reduced row echelon form or RREF, which is every column has leading 1 and entries above and below leading 1 are zeros. Lastly, solve the matrix and complete the solution by writing the answer of each variable as X, Y, and Z. this the example of the variables. So vans we use as variable as x, converse as y, night as z.
From our problem statement, we need to form three equations. The first one is 20x plus 15y plus 18z equal to 15,425. Second, 5x plus 24y plus 32z equal to 16,295. Third, 13x plus 3y plus 3z equal to 15,220. From the equation, we need to form the augmented matrix. So we will get this. Next, we need to reduce it into the R square EM form. So the first step is we need to find the leading one in the first column. So the first ERO is 1 over 20 R1, we replace it to R1. So we will get this. Next, we need to make sure that all entries below the leading one in the first column became 0. So the ERO is negative 5 R1 plus R2, we replace it to R2. And second one is negative 13 R1 plus R3, we replace it to R3. So we will get this. Next, we need to find the leading one in the second column. So the ERO is 4 over 81 R2, we replace it to R2. So we will get this. Then we need to make sure that entries above and below the leading one in the second column became 0. So the ERO is 27 over 4 R2 plus R3, we replace it to R3. And the second one is negative 3 over 4 R2 plus R1, we replace to R1. So we will get this. Next, we need to find the leading one in the third column. So the ERO is 15 over 467 R3, we replace it to R3. So we will get this. The next step is we need to make sure that all entries above the leading one in the third column became 0. So the ERO is negative 70 over 81 R3 plus R2, we replace it to R2. And negative 34 over 135 R3 plus R1, we replace it to R1. So we will get this. This matrix is already in R square EM form. So we can conclude that the value of x is equal to 235, y is equal to 355, and z equal to 300. Next is discussion. From the result obtained, we get the price of the vans is Rm235, converse is Rm355, Nike is Rm300 by using Gauss-Jordan elimination method. The problem is solved by transforming the problem into system linear equation. And we transform into the augmented matrix. After we transform it, we perform elementary row operation and reduce it into reduced row equivalent form to find each price of the shoes. Then we can conclude that the most expensive shoes is Converse, while the cheapest shoes is Van. Lastly, we also know that the top sale for new shoes in June, July, August is Nike, Converse and Nike respectively.
By completing this case study, we can conclude that linear algebra is very useful in our daily life because it can be used in e-commerce applications like we use in our group, which is online selling. From the equation chosen for this case study project, we identified that by using Gauss-Jordan elimination method, we can find the specific price for each new shoes that been sold in June, July and August, such that we can know which new shoes people are more interested in, the most expensive one or the cheapest one. And besides that, by using the Gauss-Jordan elimination method to solve the contest, customers will gain more knowledge upon entering it. Throughout this project, the opening of our e-commerce platform for our shoe store is to prove that linear algebra can be used for anything, especially to solve complicated problems we encounter every day. Last but not least, to perfect our project, we use two references. One from book name, Elementary Linear Algebra 2nd edition, and the other one is from website we got to know more about the history of Gauss-Jordan elimination method. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.